There is something I need to point out that became very obvious to me after rereading this chapter of The Promised Neverland quite a few times. It's been out for a few days, I've had enough time to kind of process everything going on in the chapter, and I noticed something that felt very peculiar, something very off to me, and I was like, it's very obvious that the author of this, the writer, is trying to imply something with Lucas and the man with no name. Let me explain. In the chapter, you get to see right at the beginning, Lucas, he has, a problem with his arm, his right arm. He doesn't have it. And you see how he has a glove on his other hand. And as the chapter basically lets us know that Lucas is in fact the dude that was a part of the Man with No Name's, family, we get to see this cover page pop up. And in the cover page, you basically see Lucas sitting on the stairs, looking kind of old, like he just had a lot of time to process everything. And then you see his old family members just all there that are long gone. And the only person that's still alive is the Man with No Name, but he has his arm wrapped around a younger Lucas. Now, I want to point out something. In that little cover page, if you look at Lucas and you look at the Man with No Name, not having a glove on his, left hand, it's gloveless, but when you look at his right hand, which does have a glove in present time, if you go to his character, if you look at it, even in this chapter, you can see it towards the end, he has a glove on his right hand. And when he has his arm around Lucas, you can't see his hand at all, it's not visible. But if you look at Lucas's right hand, it has a glove on it, very similar to the glove that the Man with No Name has in present time. And similar to, also how Lucas is right now. But its hand is swapped. It's on a different hand now. Which, I feel like there's something going on there. Especially with the glove and the way it's shifted from, the right hand to the left hand and the left hand to the right hand. There's definitely something going on there. And for the writer to go out of their way to hide the Man with No Name's right hand in that cover page, while showcasing in the exact same chapter that Lucas lost his right arm and right hand, I feel like that's implying something. I feel like whatever that's implying, it's implying maybe something's wrong with the Man with No Name's right hand, or maybe something else, maybe symbolic. I have no idea, but there is definitely something going on there, because there was little key details throughout the chapter that was pointing at that, with something to do with the glove and the right hand of these two individual characters. Anyways, though, let's carry on. So this chapter, for the most part, it is basically confirmation that the Man with No Name is going to be getting very, very relevant. Because the reason why, with Lucas still being alive, this opens the door up for the Man with No Name finally being able to redeem himself, be able to have self-redemption. He's able to understand that it wasn't all his fault and get past his survivor guilt and try to move on with his life. Try to continue on and do the dream that all of his other family members set out to do. He could finally push forward with his life. And so with Lucas's introduction, that's basically what he's going to be used for, is to help out the Man with No Name. And I do see Lucas possibly dying before everything is said and done, and let me tell you why. Because we have two adult characters, and I don't think the writer most likely wants two adults with our main cast. I don't know, I feel like, most likely, judging by how Lucas is, I feel like he's going to be used as a way for the Man with No Name to move on, live on, and, change or whatever. Or maybe the Man with No Name will sacrifice himself for Lucas, and then Lucas will be with us. One or the other, but I don't see both of these adults living through this arc. I just don't see it. I don't see it at all. Or at the very least, I don't see them living on for the remainder of the series. At least one of them are going to probably die or end up dead before everything is said and done, just because of how shonen usually is. Now, I'm not putting down this series, I'm just saying it's an obvious course of action for a writer to take. So, anyways, though, basically, we have some information, some backstory given to Lucas and kind of how he survived, where he ended up, and what he's been doing all of these years while the Man with No Name has been sitting by himself in the shelter. So, Lucas, he took shelter. He managed to actually find this girl that told him, follow me, the demons, they won't find you, follow me. And she was apparently a part of, that hunting ground, where they're at right now. Basically, she led him back into their territory in the playground or whatever, and brought him into the windmill, which was a secret tunnel, that was the door where, William Minerva was. So, yeah, that basically is how he managed to survive and how he's managed to stay hidden for so long. I'm kind of curious exactly how he managed to remain sane, because, even though he had people around him, he probably, once again, had some guilt within his soul, too, just anger and rage because of, what the demons did to his family, and he does showcase that in the chapter, but I wonder how he's managed to keep kind of like a sane mind over all of these years. Anyways, though, the girl that saved him, we don't get a name drop. We don't really even find out who she is, which I feel like is going to be very relevant in the future. I don't know. Just something about that character that was shown in this chapter, and we couldn't see her eyes or whatever, or the full face. I'm going to assume that character is someone very important. Maybe she's not necessarily dead. Who knows? Because we didn't really get to see a body. We just know that she was terrified. She had terror and all that from the monsters. Maybe something else. Maybe she faked her death. Maybe she was lying to the dude the whole time. Who knows? Maybe Lucas is not who he says he is. Maybe he's been a little bit manipulated or whatever. Who knows? I'm just saying that I feel like that woman is probably very important, most likely either by name or she's not dead. One or the other is going to be a big part to play, I think, in the upcoming events for the story. And for all we know, maybe that, girl is connected to William in some shape or form. Who knows? So, yeah, that's how he survived, and for many, many years that he was by himself and new kids came in, he taught them, and he built his own little new organization to be able to stand up against the demons and bring them down. And so that's basically where we're at right now in present time. He's made a little organization that knows how to kind of fight, how to survive and all that, and then they're going to stand up and try to take back this place and completely eradicate all the demons that are in here right now. So, yeah, that's basically the setup. That's what it is. We got characterization for Lucas, we got the setup for the upcoming events, and then we also found out that we know where the door is. There is an actual door in this place where William's at. It was never found. It was just deep underground, which is very strange when you think about the location of William Minerva's door. I want to talk about that for a second. So, it is revealed at the end of the chapter that Goldie Pond is, in fact, already underground. For instance, this entire playground, the hunting ground for all the children, what the demons are going through and all that, apparently this is already underground, which would explain why it's managed to keep, like, a certain temperature and everything is fine. It goes along with what we saw in the past when, our main characters like Emma and Ray and all, then they fell underground and all that, and they had to deal with the plant. Basically, that's what we have going on here. It's very similar to that. So it does make a lot of sense. There was a lot of nods hinting at that, so I am happy with the writer kind of implying that's where we were all along. However, there's a couple of strange things about this. For Goldie Pond to be underground, and for William Minerva's, base to be under that's very strange. That's very strange. It's like William Minerva made that door, that place, while the demon's building was already there. There's only a couple of things I could assume is going on here. There's only a couple. Either some form of sinkhole, like a sinkhole happened, maybe, or maybe there was some form of collaboration with demons and humans, and that's how Minerva was able to put that down there. Or William, is not who he says he is. Maybe he is, in fact, a demon. I just want to point out that it's very obvious that for that base to be there on the property, and it's underground, it's double underground, something like that does not just happen without someone knowing about it. So the only thing I could assume is going on here is either A, when this place was built, the people that are lords of, the mansion and stuff, when this place was built, maybe William was in charge of constructing this area. Maybe he was like a builder or something. Maybe he is a demon, and he was constructing something, and he managed to put that secret area underneath the place. Maybe. Maybe this is implying he was like a construction worker or something. Like, he watched over people building stuff. Or maybe he is a demon, because someone does not just do that. You just don't. So I'm making sure I point that out and everybody understands that is a very weird aspect of the chapter, especially with it being double underground. Anyways, moving on though, we are about to open the door up to the new shelter, and I'm very curious on what's going to be inside, because it's most likely going to be very different from what we have personally seen already, because the first shelter I think was just there to give someone a comfortable life. If you don't want to continue any further and you're just fine with being what you have right now, stay there, you're fine. But I feel like the next one, I feel like there's something else. Probably more information about the world. Probably more ways to fight back against the demons, maybe a potential power-up for the characters. Because like I've said many times already throughout reviewing this series can go any direction. For all we know, the series could, retain this certain style to where Emma and Ray and all of the children and all that, they have to run away and they have to use this skill to be able to take down demons by expertly shooting them in the head. That could be the main usage of combat in this series. However, if the writer wants to shift this more into a battle shonen, for all we know, our characters could get power-ups in any way. So maybe the shelter, if the writer wants to go down that path, Emma and Ray might get power-ups or something. I'm just pointing that out. That is still a possibility because this series is very new and the writer could pretty much do anything the writer wants right now because of how the series is written. I'm just making sure everybody's aware of that. For all we know, Emma and Ray might get a power-up because whatever's in that shelter, maybe just more information about the world, or just something else. We just don't really know. Just want to make sure I get that on the table there. So I want to end it. I want to end this video here. I love you guys. You have a very, very, very wonderful day or night wherever you live. Please be safe. If you enjoy my content, please subscribe. If you like this video, please leave a like. And if you want to get notified for whenever I upload a video, please click the bell icon next to the subscribe button. Because for some reason, when you click the subscribe button, you don't always get notified for whenever I upload a video. And this goes for all YouTubers on the platform. So if you want to get notified for any YouTuber that you subscribe to, at the very least, click the bell icon. Because for some reason, the subscribe button doesn't do its job anymore. So I love you guys. You have a wonderful day or night wherever you live. Please be safe. Chibi out.